My life, it's pretty ordinary, pretty mundane, pretty unspectacular most of the time. How about yours? But in the ordinary, the mundane, the unspectacular, the ordinariness of it all, God is there. A couple of things strike me about the Easter story from this past Easter. And maybe the spiritual principle for this time is God is in the ordinary, and the ordinary is miraculous if we had eyes to see and ears to hear. There's a story where the angel comes to the tomb. The big stone is at the entrance of the tomb, and the angel rolls it away. How did he roll it away? Did he give a shout? Did he put a lot of effort into it? Did he just use his little finger and push it away? Who knows? But there's a striking image where it says, then Scripture says, that the angel rolled away the stone and then sat on top of it. What? Why is that in Scripture? Because Scripture is playful at times when we see through to it. I think it speaks to me, the angel sitting up on top of the tomb. Can you see him dangling his legs over the tombstone? Just waiting for the women to appear. And just sitting there taking the morning in. And just having this sense about him of the spiritual reality of what is really real. And the angel knew that better than anyone that morning. What is really real? That life after life, life never ends. The resurrection happens. It's happening all the time, actually. Jesus is alive. We'll live with him. We can live with him now, before death and after death. The spiritual reality the angel knew about, and the confidence, and just waiting to see what the reaction would be to the empty tomb. I love that image. Ordinary stone rolled away and then sitting on top of it. Love it. And then in another gospel account, we get the story where Peter and John run to the tomb. They peer in and they see the grave clothes strewn about, but they see the headcloth, the handkerchief that would have been the headcloth, folded neatly and undisturbed. Now, who did that and why is that in Scripture? Who knows? But it's ordinary again, huh? A handkerchief. I can picture Jesus folding up the handkerchief, placing it there in the tomb, saying when people look in, here's the evidence, here's some proof. The decorum of the resurrection. Jesus knowing all is accomplished, all is well, and here's a sign of proof. Grave robbers would have taken everything, strewn everything around, but Jesus, with dignity, decorum, sets the handkerchief, the headcloth there. And I think saying to us, there's so much evidence that we can look at for the resurrection, and skeptics, there's enough there to look at, and it's not going to convince you actually to believe. And for followers, it's not going to convince you either, but there's enough evidence to look at to come to trust in it or not. Again, seeing what's really real, the spiritual reality we live in, the really real world. And then there's Jesus. The women encounter Jesus after the resurrection, and it's so ordinary. If I was God, I would have had Handel's Messiah, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. I would have had fireworks, a spectacular light show. Not Jesus. You know how he greets the women? He doesn't say, "Verily, verily, I saith unto thee, it is me, Jesus of Nazareth." He says, "Hi." How ordinary, how unspectacular. And I love it because that's how I meet God in this life. Jesus around every corner saying, "Hi." Jesus is always there. And then finally we get to the road of Emmaus. And they actually say, biblical scholars say, Emmaus never existed. It doesn't exist. They've not found a town named Emmaus. That's because Emmaus is everywhere. And this person walks up to the two walkers on the road, and it's Jesus. And their hearts burn. But it was so ordinary. So that is the spiritual life, the spiritual reality we live in. If we had eyes to see and ears to hear, we're living and moving and having our being in God, in this love that holds us, that we abide in, that abides in us. And signs of God everywhere, in the snow that falls, in the angel sitting on a tomb, in a handkerchief, in a hello and a hi, and walking on the road, everything is holy in some ways because of this life, resurrection life that is the really real reality. Well, I know there's more to say about all this, but I guess I'm just taken away. In the ordinary, in the mundane, in the unspectacular, is the spectacular, is the extraordinary, extraordinary, and is the miraculous. And there's signs everywhere if we had eyes open to see. So it comes down to trust and seeing. And God, open my eyes that I may see. How does that song go? Glimpses of you everywhere, all the time. In this life, in the really real world that breaks through into this material world from time to time. But we concentrate so on this material world. Give me spiritual eyes to see everywhere all the time and enjoy living in your presence, your love, your life that goes on and on and on. Some thoughts. Take what's helpful, leave the rest. May you live all the days of your life.